Hello, today we are going to see if Microsoft Word 2003 runs correctly in Linux Wine in the year 2024. So this is how it looks like. Most of the things that I can think of work correctly. There's even the famous word art that works correctly. Do that. So there's table of contents. Let's move the final chapter a bit down. Let's refresh the table of contents field, update field, entire table. And now we have a chapter 2 and the final chapter on page 4. Okay, chapter 2. This is chapter 3. Let's see how bullet point lists work. And they do. File save as works. We can open the document from Word. This is Total Commander running inside of Wine. And from here we can start the one of the two versions of the document, doc1.doc and doc2.doc. This split thing works. So everything works correctly. Inserting tables. What else? Read mode. Document map. Inserting clip art. Where is that? This button, insert clip art. Okay, and then you go organize clips. And there you have them. Let's insert something here. Great. Good. Okay, so everything I can think of works correctly in Microsoft Word 2003 inside Linux Wine, with the exception that the clip art tool window doesn't really work. So you must click on Organize Clips, such that you open this Microsoft Clip Organizer application. And then side help, the tool window, the sidebar with help doesn't really work that great. Like this. So instead of opening the help in the sidebar, it's being opened in a HTML help viewer, which does kind of work. Okay, so accepting help. I have never had a crash. Opens, loads, saves files correctly. The styles works correctly. There's all of the styles that you would expect. So headings from 1 through 9, HTML code, and title. Back to available styles, which provides a shorter list of styles. Okay, show hide special characters. Undo. Everything. The most important thing if you're working with Microsoft Word that you really want to have is stability, such that the application doesn't randomly crash, doesn't randomly start using 100% CPU, such that you have to kill it from the command line using, kill all -9 or how it's being done. Doesn't lose my work. It works okay. Let's now see how we actually install Wine and then Total Commander and then Office 2003, and in there we will select that we install Microsoft Word. So I'm using the Linux operating system Kubuntu 23.10. The Wine that's available from the official packages is good enough from this Linux operating system, so let's install it. I just want the 32-bit Wine. I do not need Windows on Windows 64, so the support for both executables of 64-bit and 32-bit. So that would be install Wine32. It will install many packages from the architecture i386. It's going to take a while. Meanwhile, I'm going to install the Windows application Total Commander such that I can start the other applications from here. So Microsoft Word, the installer for Microsoft Office, and after I create doc files, so files with extension doc, I'm going to be able to open them easily straight in Word. So Total Commander, a file manager. 32-bit is what I'm after, so the latest version of Total Commander, but 32-bit only. Download page, this thing. 32-bit only. And I have downloaded here. Okay, it's still installing packages. We'll be back in a second after it finishes installing all of the needed dep packages. Okay, so installing Wine using apt finished. This is the ISO for Office, Microsoft Office Professional 2003. It's an ISO file. I could either mount it, or if I have the correct tools, I can extract it. So 7-zip can extract it. And in my case, the built-in tools in KD Plasma can also extract it. So I go right-click on it, extract, and to archive here, auto-detect subfolder. It's working correctly. In here are cabinet files, so compressed files, and one executable, which is setup.exe, the one that we're after. Since we have Wine, the very first thing that we want to do is to run the Total Commander installer. Let's change into that directory. So Wine, and then lowercase t, and then tab for autocompletion. There's no Wine prefix directory, which is usually stored in ~/.wine directory. Do I want additional languages? No. I'm going to keep the defaults. No need for either of these. it installed correctly. And now there's multiple ways of starting Total Commander. One of the ways is to actually find the Total Commander executable on the hard disk. So that's in tilde/.wine directory, drive C, program files, Total Commander, sort by executable, by extension, and it's this one, total cmd.exe. I'm going to copy the full path, Ctrl-Alt-C, and then start it, Ctrl-Shift-V. So wine and then the full path to the total cmd.exe file. Okay. Total Commander works pretty well under wine. I'm going to do the usual terraforming that I always do. Okay. And now I usually have a temp directory available under c:\\, and that directory is available also in plain Linux under tilde/.wine/drive_c temp directory. In here I can copy the expanded ISO files of this directory. It's fast, and then so this is Total Commander running inside of wine. We're inside of wine. So by double clicking on any executable, wine will open that executable correctly. Okay, it requires a license key, just a second. Okay, so I entered the license key, I have pressed the next button. Next once again, EULA. And in here we're going to select what to install. We're going to do the work of selecting what to install, but usually the first time that I run the Microsoft Office 2003 setup installer, that fails. And I will need to run it a second time, so let's still do it correctly. So custom install. In here I'm going to select only Word. Access doesn't really work. I have never used Publisher or Info Path. I certainly do not want to use Outlook. PowerPoint works correctly. So I'm only keeping Word. Okay, where it says it's removing files. And that's because it's actually rolling back the installation because the installation has failed. I'm going to don't send, wait for the rollback to finish. So the first time that I run the installer fails, and it cleanly rolls back such that in the program data Office directory, not many files can be found. So it's c:\program files inside of wine directory, Microsoft Office, and in here Office 11, just one file, gdi+.dll. Okay, but then the second time when I run the installer, things work correctly. Just a second. And now I'm going to do the exact same steps as I did in the first install. Next here, accept EULA, custom install, Word only. Next, install. Okay, no errors yet in the installer. And the installer has finished. This is the final page of the installer wizard. There are no longer any websites that support Microsoft Office 2003. So there's no point in checking the web for updates. Finish. Let's now look at the installation directory, C:\back inside of Wine, C:\/ program files, Microsoft Office. There's 3 directories in here instead of 1, Office, and then in here used to be just 1 DLL. If we sort by extension, the executable that we want is this one, winword.exe. Okay, let's start writing the same document. What's happening? Mouse focus has gone to some wild place. Okay, title is of style, the last one, which is title. The chapters are of type of style heading 1. Okay, let's insert a table of contents in here. Make this to normal. How do we insert things? Just a second. So from the main menu of Microsoft Word, there's no ribbon yet. There are no docx files, so XML based Microsoft Office file types. So insert main menu, reference, table of contents. Okay. Fragment, consider revising. Okay, let's see how saving works. The file has never been saved. I'm going to save it to the same temp directory where I work out of, so C:\temp. So that's computer, C, temp, make this document 1. Okay, let's insert a table. Let's insert some clip art. Organize clips. Don't show this message again. Animals. Let's do domestic animals. We can resize clip art. We can edit the way, so right click on the clip art, format picture. Just selecting layout, how does text blend in with the image. So all of the things that you are used to from Microsoft Office Word. It's just that it's the version before the ribbon, which might actually be even easier to use because it doesn't have the ribbon. Everything is just in the main menu and in the toolbars. Okay. Let's update field. So right click on the table of contents, update field. entire table, okay. So again, everything works correctly. Let's make a copy, document 2, save. And now if I want to reopen the documents, first of all, I'm going to start Total Commander. I'm going to keep this command line somewhere available in a text file probably. And then from the console, I'm going to run it. So file and a wine and then space and then the full path to the totalcmd.x executable. It remembers the last directories that I was on, and I'll always have the c:\temp directory in one of the tabs, probably in this tab. Control T, Alt F2, where are you? C, like this. Everything's snappy, incredibly fast. Both Total Commander and Word are optimized for computers with really small amounts of RAM and just one CPU thread. So everything works correctly. I didn't have any crashes or slowdowns or infinite loops with 100% CPU utilization. Thank you.